Hello, good morning everybody. My name is Heather Murray. I am here to teach you how to prompt ChatGPT like a pro. So this session is designed for all the people that are kind of dabblers. You've tried a little bit of ChatGPT, you might be getting kind of boring results or results are a bit irrelevant for you. So I'm going to teach you a few tricks and tips to get really, really good results. I forgot my clicker already. Okay, yeah, so I'm Heather. I'm founder of AI for Non-Techies. I am an AI consultant and trainer. And actually, the first time I ever spoke publicly was 12 months ago today, here, which is mad. It's like a big full circle. But I got into AI in a really strange way. So I loved writing as a kid, you know, scribbling behind the sofa. Became a copywriter. That eventually led into me getting a marketing degree, which was complete pointless waste of ridiculous amount of money. Ended up opening a marketing agency anyway. That went really well. During the course of running that agency, I had a client that had a £10 million thing they wanted to sell, really high ticket thing. And they came to us and they're saying, look, we're knocking on all these doors and nobody's answering. We need a way to to segment this down and to get better results. So I found this just Googled around, I found this tool, AI tool. It's a $50 a month tool, and we managed to get $75 million of revenue using that tool. So my head was turned towards AI. I got really, really excited about it. And then, November the 30th, 2022, ChatGPT came out, and my whole life changed. I remember sitting there in my office, little tiny office at home, I work from home, and just looking at it going, just thinking, the use cases for this are incredible. I've never seen anything like this before in my life, and it doesn't require any technical knowledge at all. I'm not a technical person, hence my business name, AI for Non-Techies, and I just saw so many use cases for marketers. I just got super excited, ran into my husband. My husband didn't care, he's not into digital stuff at all, whatever. I thought it was just another one of my things. But I spent 3 hours a day, every single day. I have a bit of an ability to hyper-focus. So yeah, 3 hours a day, every single day, learning as much as I possibly could about all things AI, and that has not stopped. Maybe had a couple of days off in the last few years. Oops. There we go. But I think most marketers, when you first try these tools, whether it was straight away or whether it was a little bit later on, a lot of people are feeling this, and actually today, you know, speaking at this conference and speaking to people, we've got a stand over there, been speaking to a lot of people about how they feel about AI. A lot of the questions I've been asked is, what actually is it? What is AI? Why is everyone talking about it all of a sudden? Wasn't it around years ago? It's super overwhelming. Aren't there like hundreds of thousands of tools? Which ones are meant to be for me? It's exciting, all the opportunities, but it's also a bit of a panic. Like, are we going to teach ourselves something that's actually going to replace us? Why would we do that? A lot of people confused again, and a lot of aversion. I saw particularly at the beginning. I think that's dying down a little bit, but a lot of people going, not going to have anything to do with this. I'm an original marketer, an original writer. I'll never touch AI. But not a lot of curiosity. But I think one thing became obvious after you do your little dabbling on ChatGPT and you've written your poem in whatever voice or you've changed an email, all the things we tend to do when we first start. So AI generated copy is crap. It's rubbish. We've all seen things like in today's ever-evolving digital landscape, boring. The word delve comes up every 2 seconds. It's awful. This isn't good copy. We can't use this copy. As marketers that care about the quality of what we do, we can't use this. Why is it like this? So I kind of wanted to know what the reason was. So I've done a lot of experimentation. As somebody, my agency was a copywriting agency. I love copywriting. You know, I was a copywriter now. So I was really interested to find out why it does this and what can I do about it. Can I still use AI to create content? First of all, there's a few giveaway words in AI. I love this graph. There's another one after it that's brilliant as well. So some of the words AI likes, because it's trained on this massive data set, and I'll go more into that in a second, but some of the words it likes are showcasing, pivotal, intricate, and realm. I think we've all seen realm quite a lot. If you look all the way along here, 2010, it's just going up and down. It's in natural fluctuations in the word popularity. And then we get all the way over here, ChatGPT comes out, we're all using it, clearly. The popularity came, so these are some of the biggest giveaway words. One of the biggest ones, delve. We've all seen delve everywhere, haven't we? Loves delve, I don't know why. It must be prevalent in its training data. But this is quite interesting because this post, are people in scientific journals using ChatGPT? look at this, it's growing naturally, it's growing, and whoosh. There's no way in hell that people writing scientific papers on PubMed are not using ChatGPT too. They're all doing it. We're all doing it, and we're all creating this kind of boring copy, and we all kind of think this has got promise, but how do we actually get it to sound like us? So I dug into why. So there are two cool words here, perplexity and burstiness. I love these words. So perplexity is how random your next choice of word is. So at the moment, I'm looking at all your faces. I've got my sort of pre-prepared thing to say. I'm not planning exactly the next word. I've got a general idea of the next word I'm going to say, but I'm not planning it. I'm kind of responding to smiles and things like that. So humans are high perplexity. So we're high randomness when it comes to choosing the next word. AI, low perplexity. It's very predictable. It's designed to be predictable. And we'll look more into that in a second. So humans high perplexity, AI low. That's one reason it's so boring. Burstiness, a bit similar to perplexity. This is how we construct our sentences. So I've no idea how long this sentence is, or how long the one is before it, or how long this one's going to be. We don't plan in patterns. Humans speak again. The timbre in which we talk, the sentence structure is just all about who we're talking to, what's going on, what's happened just before that, all that context, all that experience. We don't plan these things out. Humans, high burstiness, AI, low burstiness. Two other big differences. Major one is people prompt really badly by default. And it's nobody's fault because we're not given any instructions. You open ChatGPT, there's no instructions there, are there? There might be a few kind of conversation starters, a written novel, but there's no book that we can follow. So bad prompting, bad data creates really bad results. And I'll show you how to prompt properly in a second. I've got a really good framework. And then plagiarism. So AI has no experience, no originality, no opinions. It can't. It's regurgitating. It's basically got, imagine a huge, if the internet stopped and it was suddenly downloaded, that is what it's working from, this snapshot of the internet. It doesn't wait a white paper over a it should wait a white paper over a Reddit comment, but it doesn't. It mashes all those words together, thinks of what's going to be the most predictable next word, and then it goes from that. So it's got no context to anything. It can't possibly write anything original or unusual or with any thought because it's all plagiarized and it's also all stolen. All this data that it's been trained on, and actually I found out last night, LinkedIn is training on our posts. You have to fill in a form. I'll do a post about it later on my LinkedIn, so follow and I'll send you the form. But it's trained, so every post we're putting on, it's now trained. It's using to train its own AI. So these things have been stolen. Our data, whenever we put something out on our website or we've posted a video, they've just stolen all of that. That's going to change, but that's another story. And then bias. People assume because this is AI and it's kind of some form of robot-y type thing that it doesn't have bias. So you've got a robot in the room. Humans are very biased. Robots are not. But actually, it's trained on all this human data. Humans have written this information. Humans have built this machine. It's actually a lot more biased than your average human. So if you think of how much polarizing content there is out there on the internet, like so many people with their blogs and their opinions and so much more than proper peer-reviewed, balanced, well-researched articles, it's trained on all of that, so it's incredibly biased. So these are some of the reasons why it is the way it is. So an LLM, you've probably heard that. I don't like technical, it's a large language model. But basically, that's your ChatGPT, your Claude. If you don't know about Claude, Claude's amazing. Gemini and Copilot, they're your big four LLMs. And that's just something that can generate text for you. That's basically what it is, very simply. I like to explain things simply, because that's what I would like. So we've got artificial intelligence, which is this big overarching concept here. And that contains everything. So that is when computers try to behave like humans, again, in very, very simple terms. In that, we've got machine learning and deep learning. You don't need to know what they are. We're starting at the very beginning. I think it's too easy to baffle with all these new terms. We don't need to know those. But generative AI, that is the reason that everybody's now talking about AI. That's the new thing, the ability to generate something new. So you can now create text, you can now create images, video, sound, music, clone your own voice, make yourself on a digital twin. It's incredible. We're able to generate new stuff, and that's the new thing, and that's the reason we're all here today. And LLMs are a type of that. They're just the text one. So they're all very different. ChatGPT, Claude, for a start, ChatGPT isn't the best at writing copy. Claude is much better at writing copy. A lot of people don't realise that. But yeah, this is an LLM, and this is very, very simply, again, how they work. So we've spoken about that humongous snapshot of the internet that's been downloaded. Basically, it looks for patterns. It doesn't understand what it's reading. It has no thoughts. It's just looking for patterns. That word goes before that word 37,000 times, therefore I'm going to remember that. It's just looking for patterns. Sentences, perplexity, burstiness, patterns. Then it's going to look in for clues in what you actually type in, your prompt. That's why prompts are really important. So what you type in really, really matters. So it's look for patterns, then it looks at your prompt, and then it's going to make its best guess based on all the words before it, what word you want next. It's just guessing based on patterns. It's the most predictable thing. So LLMs are deliberately designed to be as generic and predictable as possible because that's what they're meant to do. They're meant to give you the most likely next word. So these generic, in today's ever-evolving landscape, is just the most possible version of that sentence, the most likely one. And it learns from its mistakes. It's getting better every day. So it's just good to kind of know in the background how they work. They're not understanding what you say. They're just getting patterns from it. But despite all this, despite the fact it's a bit crap and it's got all these flaws, it can actually be a brilliant, brilliant tool for marketers. Just need to know where and how to use it. So first of all, pick the right tool. A lot of people come to me going, which one should I be using? Like, is it ChatGPT? Is it Gemini, Copilot? Should I be using Jasper, Writer, any of these? Thing is, it completely depends on your job title. If you're researching a lot, you're analysing a lot, ChatGPT is amazing. If you're writing a lot, you're writing emails, blogs, ebooks, white papers, you want Claude, but you might want to research with ChatGPT first. Gemini, Google's one, it's coming up in the rear. Like it started off a little bit low. The other two were really winning out. Gemini is now topping the charts at the moment. So that is a little bit. It's good at both, but it has its flaws at the moment. We could have entire sessions on each of these. And then there's Microsoft Copilot. I hope there's nobody here from Microsoft. It's not my favourite at all. I think it's rubbish. And then you have your copy tools as well. So these are ones. So this is like manual driving here. This is like automatic driving. So these have done a bit of the prompting for you. So if you don't want to refine and fine-tune your outputs, use these tools. They'll get you there. It'll be okay. They'll get you there. But if you really want to create really good copy, use this for good copy. But you want to use one of these, kind of, as I say, a bit like a manual drive, and you have more control. And then prompt it properly. This, absolutely crucial. Everybody I know, when you first, and I started exactly the same way, you prompt wrong, because we don't know how to do it. So I have created a 3 C's framework. So character, context, clarity. If you have these 3 C's, I guarantee you will get so much better results from your prompts. So character, set 1 for AI. Say you want to write some LinkedIn posts even, LinkedIn posts. You would say, act as, or you are, a LinkedIn ghostwriter, or a copywriter, something like that. Set the scene. Remember, it's drawing from this huge data set. You need to start allowing it to draw from the right shelves. It's like a massive library, walking in and saying, I would like a book, please. Don't be broad. You need to be specific. So act as, say, if you're writing a blog, act as a blog copywriter. Writing a white paper, act as a white paper copywriter. You want to do some sales strategy, act as a sales strategist. Want to review a contract, act as a contract lawyer. Set the character. You can give them a background. You can say they've got 10 years experience in X, or they've got a certain personality type, or they've read a certain book and they're really into a certain way of working. You can give them a whole personality if you want, but get the character in first. It makes a massive difference. Also remember, ChatGPT doesn't know who you are. Every single time you start a new chat, there's a memory function, but that's a whole separate thing. But for most people, it doesn't know who you are, so you might want to introduce who you are to give it a bit more context too. So act as a LinkedIn ghostwriter. I'm a generative AI trainer. It's going to draw from the LinkedIn stuff, it's going to draw from its copywriting stuff, and it's going to draw from generative AI stuff as well. So it's going to start getting that right information together, and the result is going to be stronger. Then we have context. And if you remember one thing from this talk, context, do this. Use the paperclip in ChatGPT. Use that paperclip or the plus icon in others. Attach examples of what you mean. The AI is an amazing mimic. I'll talk about that in a second, but attaching background information. So imagine you've just got a brand new assistant and they're coming to write, they're coming to write blogs for you. So they've turned up and they're super excited to start. you wouldn't just say write a blog. You'd give them a proper brief, that's your prompt, but you'd also say here's some examples of blogs I've written before. Here's our tone of voice guide. Here's information about our services. Here's a link to our website. You give them all that background information so that they get it right, so you get a bespoke response. That's what you need to do with ChatGPT. You need to use that paperclip and attach audience information, tone of voice information, whatever it is that human would need to do, AI needs to do it as well. So use that attach button. Your prompt should always be attaching documents. And then there's clarity too. That's a third C. Be really, really clear in what you're saying. Try to avoid ambiguity. So if I gave each of you a piece of paper at the moment and said, write me down an idea, one of you might draw a picture, some of you might draw write one word, others might write a whole paragraph. That's ambiguous, of course. AI is going to see ambiguity in so many other things. So you need to be really clear with your language. So say if you said, I want act as a LinkedIn ghostwriter, I want 5 ideas for posts. Clarify what you mean by idea. What is an idea? Is it like a paragraph? What does that look like? So just I would say, I'd like a headline or a hook. I'd like a hook, and I'd want 3 key features to include in my post, for example. Just be super specific. Use clear language. Set it out a bit like a good LinkedIn post where you've got white space, you've got bullet points. Break it down. Be super clear so it understands. Character, context, clarity. Those 3 C's, you're going to get really good results. So this, just to reiterate the example thing, AI is a really, really great mimic. So when I ran my copywriting agency, the amount of times we had onboarding calls with clients, and we'd say, describe your tone of voice. Everybody says the same thing, everyone. Conversational, warm, professional, engaging, friendly. They all use the same words. We humans don't have that many words. We're crap at describing ourselves. AI can see so much more from an example, all those patterns, than we can describe. AI needs to see examples instead of you trying to describe what you mean. You can try both, but definitely include the examples. AI is an amazing mimic. Use an exclude list. So if anybody would like this exclude list, drop me a message on LinkedIn. I've got a long exclude list, actually. But these are words. There's an argument against it as well, but these are all those prevalent AI words. You can take these out and it actually sounds a lot more human, but I really like the word delve. I don't want people to assume that I've used AI just because I'm using the word delve. So there's an argument to bring some of them back. We are where we are, but if you use the exclude list, it automatically sounds much more human. And then finally, this is not my analogy, and I wish it was. This is from Kerry Harrison, who's amazing. She said, think of AI like a sandwich. You need a copywriter at the beginning. So it could be copyright, it could be anything, for any form of AI situation, but you need a human at the beginning. Humans are the bread and AI is the filling. So you need a human at the beginning to describe what good looks like. How can somebody who's never written a blog before describe what a good blog should contain? You couldn't write a brief, could you? So it's about amplifying the talent of people that do already have the skills. It's not about replacing people. If I've spoken to small businesses, have said, we don't need copywriters anymore. Don't need that. We'll just get AI to do it. Well, how are you going to prompt it properly? Because you can't describe what good looks like, and you certainly can't recognize it the other side. So it's really, really important to remember that. So think of it like a sandwich. Human to prompt it properly. AI does its magic in the middle. You can achieve so much more than you could before. And then a human at the other side to recognize what good looks like and make sure that we're not going down misinformed, biased, hallucinated, that's all, loads of other stuff, but those sorts of routes. Otherwise, we're in serious danger if we're not having that human bread. So AI copy isn't crap. It's actually all right when you know how to use it. Just remember those things. Remember how to prompt properly, the exclude list, choosing your tool. You'll start to see dramatic differences. So remember, AI copy is generic because it's designed to be. That's what how LLMs were built. They're meant to be predictable and dull. We have to prompt around that. Don't use it, its default mode is dull. Don't ditch it as a tool though, know where and how to use it. Pick your tool carefully. If you want to go manual, one of those LLMs, your ChatGPT, your Claude, you prefer to just have things built for you, no problem, go for one of those writing tools instead. Learn how to prompt properly. I can't emphasize that enough, especially that C, that middle C context. Attach examples, attach background information. You'll see such a huge difference. obviously give AI examples. I've said it so many times, but it really does make the biggest difference. Use the exclude list, and remember that sandwich. So there's a free guide, if anybody would like it. I got together with 6 of my favourite female AI experts from around the world, and we put together 30 marketing prompts, 11 of our favourite tools as well, and it's all there free for you if you want to have a little look. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful, short, sharp. I haven't had my 5-minute warning yet. Oh, there's my 5-minute warning. But that's it for me. Hopefully that was helpful. And if you want to have a chat, I'm over there on the stall. Thank you.